You've seen it in movies, in textbooks, on postcards. But what if I told you the Statue of Liberty? Yes, that statue hides a dark secret almost no one knows. Deep inside her iconic torch, there's a forbidden room. A room that has been sealed off for over 100 years. Even most Americans have no idea it exists. And the ones who do, they're not allowed anywhere near it. Now here's the crazy part. This room used to be open to the public. People would climb up and stand inside the torch, looking out across New York Harbor. But something happened. Something so shocking, the government permanently shut it down in 1916, and they've kept it closed ever since. So what's really up there now? And why is the torch, the symbol of freedom, off limits to everyone? Today, on Dark Ridge, we're taking you inside the banned zone of Lady Liberty, uncovering a story of war, sabotage, and the mystery that still lingers above the city. Let's go where tourists aren't allowed. So, what exactly is this secret room? Inside the Statue of Liberty's torch, at the very top, there's a small observation deck. It's a narrow, glass-walled space that gives a full 360 degrees view of the New York skyline and the Atlantic Ocean. It was originally built as a public lookout point, and in the early 1900s, people could actually climb all the way up and stand inside the flame itself. Crazy, right? Imagine standing inside the torch of the Statue of Liberty, peering out across the harbor like you're on top of the world. But here's the twist. On July 30th, 1916, everything changed. Just before midnight, a massive explosion rocked New York City. The blast was so powerful, it shattered windows in Times Square, shook buildings in Philadelphia, and even damaged the Statue of Liberty. All the way at the top. That explosion, it wasn't an accident. It was an act of war. German saboteurs had snuck into an island warehouse filled with munitions meant for Allied forces in World War I, and blew it sky high. The incident is now known as the Black Tom explosion, one of the largest non-nuclear explosions in US history. Shrapnel flew everywhere, and the statue's arm and torch were severely damaged. The stairway inside the torch twisted, the glass shattered, and the internal structure became unstable. Since that day, no one has been allowed back inside. Not tourists, not staff, not even presidents. But here's where it gets weird. Why haven't they repaired it in over 100 years? Or is something else up there they don't want us to see? Ever since the torch room was sealed, people have tried to guess what's really up there, and some of the theories are unsettling. Let's start with the most obvious. Why not just fix it? The US spent millions restoring other parts of the statue, including the crown, pedestal, and even underground sections. But the torch? It stayed sealed for over a century. Some say the structure is just too fragile. Others believe something else is going on. Magnifying glass tilted left, here's where it gets strange. Inside the torch, in rare photos taken by maintenance staff, you can see odd markings along the inner walls. Some say they resemble Freemason symbols. Others claim it's Morse code etched into the metal. And then there are the reports. A few workers who've been allowed to access the area, for inspections only, described an eerie humming sound, like metal vibrating, even when there's no wind. One even claimed to see light flickering inside the sealed torch, when no one else was in the statue. Now, skeptics call it nonsense. Just creaky old iron and wild imaginations. But here's something you can't ignore. The Statue of Liberty was a gift from France, designed by Frederick Bartholdi, a man who was allegedly connected to secret societies. And the torch, he said, wasn't just a light. It was a beacon of hidden knowledge. So, what exactly is that hidden knowledge? And is that why the room was never reopened? By now, you're probably thinking, okay, maybe the torch room is dangerous, but what if it's also hiding something else? Well, some believe it is. In fact, over the years, declassified documents and leaked photos have raised some serious questions and fueled a theory that the torch isn't just closed, it's being protected. Let's break it down. In 1984, during the statue's massive renovation, engineers found unexpected structural elements near the torch, including what looked like a sealed hatch welded from the inside. That part of the report? Redacted when released to the public. Satellite scans taken years later revealed a dense metallic object in the torch chamber that isn't part of the structure. The official line? Old debris. But whistleblowers claim it may be a hidden artifact, possibly something placed there before the statue was even assembled in New York. Some speculate it's a time capsule, others, a surveillance device or even a relic tied to ancient secret orders like the Illuminati or Freemasons. Sounds wild, right? Here's where it gets darker. A Freedom of Information Act request for the original torch blueprints was denied for national security reasons. National security? For a tourist monument? And when asked directly about the seal torch, the National Park Service simply says, "That area is permanently closed." No further comment. No further comment? That's either very boring or very suspicious. But there's one more twist. In the final section, we uncover a story from one man who claims he actually went inside the torch, and what he saw may change everything. In 1998, a man named Raymond Herrera, a former maintenance subcontractor for Liberty Island, claimed he was given temporary access to inspect the internal wiring of the statue after a minor electrical fault. According to him, while working near the crown, he noticed a metal service ladder behind a sealed panel, leading upward. Driven by curiosity, he climbed it and ended up in a narrow, dusty tunnel that led directly to the torch chamber, the one everyone says is off-limits. Raymond says the inside was nothing like he expected. There were no broken stairs, no danger signs. Instead, he found a small octagonal chamber, dimly lit from the outside, with copper walls carved with symbols he couldn't identify. At the center, he claimed, was a circular plate embedded in the floor, glowing faintly, like it was powered by something underneath. He only stayed for a few minutes before hearing a loud creak below. Fearing he'd get caught, he climbed back down and never reported what he saw. Years later, when he finally shared his story online, it was instantly buried. The post vanished and his account? Deleted. Of course, people dismissed it as fake. But here's the creepy part. A Freedom of Information request about Herrera's employment status was returned with this message: "No record of this individual exists in our database. He never worked there," or "Someone doesn't want us to know he did." So now we ask you, was it just a sealed room with broken stairs? Or is the Statue of Liberty's torch hiding something we were never meant to find? Because in the end, truth and mystery are two sides of the same flame. Welcome to Dark Ridge.